Good afternoon, Express fans. Welcome to episode 2 of Sidetracked, presented by Dell Technologies, right here on Facebook Live. My name is Andrew Feltz. I am the manager of PR and communications for the Round Rock Express. And if you missed us last week, welcome in. This is our brand new show we're debuting here on Facebook Live called Sidetracked. Our goal really is to bring some of the ballpark, bring some baseball conversation to you in your home while there's no games going on at Dell Diamond. We have a great afternoon of guests lined up. Today we got Round Rock Express President Chris Almendarez coming up in our first segment. We're going to chat with Houston Astros infielder Jack Mayfield, and then we're going to close with three-time Olympian Cat Osterman. Really the format of our show every week, every Tuesday afternoon for about 30 minutes. We're going to chat with a friend of the Express, be it a community leader, one of our partners, one of our friends. We're going to bring on a familiar face from the Express front office, and of course, we're going to chat with a former player or coach from the Round Rock Express. Like we said, we want this show to be for you, so please ask us questions for our guests. If you have any ideas, comments, maybe topics you'd like for us to cover in the future, let us know. The chat's open. Our inbox is open. We'll try to answer questions as best we can, either during the show or in the chat feature. And one of those questions that we've received a couple times over the last couple days is about the Rail Yard team store. Of course, Dell Diamond is closed. The store at Dell Diamond is closed, but we are still accepting online orders. We'll ship those directly to your home. And speaking of that, thanks to our friends over at Viatran, we're excited to debut our item of the week. It's a Nolan Ryan Foundation Navy Sunrise Tee. As you can see, regularly $35, on sale for $25 this week. Visit rrexpress.com for more information and for a link to visit the Rail Yard team store. Well, with that, we're going to jump into our very first segment here this afternoon. It's presented by our good friends over at HEB. We gave them a shout out last week, but we want to say it again. Thank you to all the employees over at HEB, from all of us at the Round Rock Express, for everything that you guys have been doing for our community during this time. Well, we're excited now to welcome in the president of the Round Rock Express, Chris Almendarez. Chris, we've got a lot of different topics to discuss this afternoon, but I want to start off. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. It's a very surreal time, but we're trying to make the most of everything that we're doing here.
Well, Chris, of course, it's great to see you. Great to see a little part of the ballpark there in the Intel Club. You've been around this game for the majority of your life, a place you played collegiately at Howard Junior College and then on to the University of Houston. You're entering your 11th season with the Express, including the 6th as the team president. I'm just curious from your perspective. I mean, you mentioned a second ago how surreal it is, but just what has this experience been like for you?
You know, Tommy or Andrew, it's been weird in the fact I was thinking earlier, I think I've been playing T-ball since I was 5 years old and being around the game. So, the last 10 years, of course, with the team, but then just coaching my kids and going to baseball games and going to opening day, it's just been really eerie out here in this empty stadium. And it's actually beautiful. A day like today, the stadium, the field looks unbelievable. You're just excited to play baseball, and for us not playing and just kind of what everybody's going through with the COVID-19, very surreal, but we're making the best of it.
Well, we talked to the mayor about this last week, but, I mean, it was less than 2 months ago that all of us were at Dell Diamond. The Round Rock Classic had just started, of course, our inaugural college tournament. You got to be dad for a couple days and cheer on your son Luke, who, of course, is a freshman at the University of Houston. The Cougars baseball team, not long after that, had a little bit of a scare, too. There was a staff member that was exhibiting some of the symptoms, thankfully tested negative, but in the meantime, all those athletes had to go into quarantine. As a dad, I'm curious, just what was that experience like, knowing that Luke was down in Houston dealing with this?
It was exciting, just the fact that one, my son was potentially going to make his college debut out here, and then they played here, and then the next weekend they actually went out to Arizona, and they were in Vegas when everything kind of started. And my older son Chase, who works for us, we were actually in Vegas. We watched Luke play. He went 2 for 3, had probably the best game of his collegiate career. And remember the next day, the game got canceled because it rained in Vegas, which it never does that. And Chase and I were flying out that night. We stopped at dinner. We were at New York Casino, and we looked at the TV screen, and they said that the NBA was suspending their season. And I was just like, man, this is not good. And we got in the next day, and on that Thursday had a meeting with our ownership and kind of talking about things. And then on Friday, of course, the everything was suspended, or our season was pushed back. And then we got a call on Sunday saying that, potentially one of the kids or one of the staff members from U of H was having symptoms. And so Luke's team was quarantined. And I think that's when it became really real for me. And he had to stay in Houston for a week. Thankfully, everybody was fine and he was able to come back. So he's been back. He's been back in Round Rock and kind of staying with me and staying with my mother-in-law. But we're doing good. But I think that for me was the moment where it kind of really got personal with someone that was close to Luke that potentially could have been sick.
Well, of course, then after that, NCAA canceled the remainder of the spring semester as far as athletics goes. And another event that was close to us and, of course, close to our hearts, too, that got canceled was the UIL State Baseball Tournament, all of high school sports for the remainder of the spring. I know you've been in contact with folks at the UIL. What have those conversations been like? And kind of get us up to speed on that front.
Early on, talking with UIL, I mean, we were pushing forward. We had a couple of different dates that we were looking at that, could we potentially play in between, our season and our Round Rock Express season games. And, typically it's the second week in June when the UIL state tournament is here at Dell Diamond. And we had a date later in June. Could we get some exemptions and go into July? Dr. Susan Elza and AJ Martinez and Brian Polk over at UIL, they're great partners with us. It's actually one of my favorite events we host every year. And, last Friday when they decided to cancel the season and, all the high school spring sports were canceled, just a sad day overall. Very close to a lot of the coaches in the area, Coach Johnny Carter at Round Rock High School and Daryl Reeves and Garrett Bavoni. I mean, having conversations with those guys. I actually talked to Rex Sanders, the president of the Texas High School Baseball Coaches Association. And, just a sad day for those guys and more importantly for their players. And, the thing that we committed to all of them is in 21, when we host the state tournament and all the all-star games, we're going to do the best. It's going to be the best event that we've ever had. And we're going to try our best to make it up for these folks.
Certainly something to look forward to in the future. We are visiting with Round Rock Express President Chris Almendarez here on Sidetracked, thanks to our friends over at HEB. Well, Chris, there's no such thing as a typical day in our industry at any time of the year, especially not now. But, Dell Diamond is not necessarily an essential business, but at the same time, we have to keep the ballpark operational, keep it functional, keep it ready to go for when we do get that call that, hey, baseball's back, we need to be ready. So I'm curious, kind of what has your last couple days and weeks looked like from a work standpoint over at the ballpark?
First of all, the first conversations were reaching out to the mayor of Round Rock, Craig Morgan, talking with the city manager and her staff. And then, of course, some county folks and the chief of police. The number one thing for us is we wanted to be safe. And while we're not an essential business, we do, Dell Diamond is owned by the city of Round Rock. So it's a city building, city facility. And talking with Chad McKenzie and those folks that oversee these facilities, the biggest thing for us was making sure the integrity of the stadium and the field and everything was fine on our part. And so, I just felt it was really important for me and a number of us to be here. We've got a handful of our staff that are here making sure the stadium is safe, number one. And then, look, we've put some procedures into social distance. The ground guys, the field, they're working on the field every single day. There's a couple of them. Tim Jackson, our general manager, he was on last week with you. Tim's here. There's a couple of us in the front office, but trying to do as much as we can. It's kind of balancing, the facilities and just, different projects we can do, painting, cleaning the stadium out. They were actually putting on the seat covers this past week just to, when we do get a plan to play baseball, just to kind of make sure the stadium's ready to go. In between that, for me, of course, working with our sponsors and our staff, there's a lot of balls I'm juggling right now. I was on a call this morning with both Dell and Brown Distributing and just talking about, one, checking on them and then just talking about, potential when we do get a green light.
Well, that's a perfect segue into my next question for you. It's been a tough deal for all of us, not just in baseball, but across our community, across the country. And I think we've been trying to, both on a personal level and a professional level, support local businesses, support the folks that have supported us over these last several years. But what kind of message might you have for our fans and our sponsors and our partners, while there is no baseball going on right now?
That's the thing, how this whole thing works is look, we're very fortunate to have this facility and the partnership with the city, the partnership with, our corporate partners. Like I said, Michelle Daniels with Dell and Jessica Fairchild, they're kind of my day-to-day contacts with Dell. And look, they're our number one partner. And so visiting with them and Agnes with Budweiser and Jared with Intel and some of these folks, it's our fans that are utilizing those businesses. Our great partner HEB, how this thing works is, our fans supporting their causes, because by doing that, it allows those partners to still take care of us. And, as I'm looking at the field, I just look at some of the signage of Dell and HEB, and just, very blessed that those guys are great partners. And, today the phone call was, the Zoom call was very personal, just checking on us and just checking in. And, it's funny, I promised myself last week, and I actually kind of challenged the staff, the other day is, every day, I try to reach out to 5 different people. And for me, it's 5 people that have meant something to me in my life or made me the person that I am. And, I think all of us really need connection right now, where some people are staying everybody's staying at home, and some people are by themselves, and some people have family. But I think the key thing is just making sure that we're connected. And for me, on a professional level and a just personal level, making sure that we're taking care of all the folks that make Dell Diamond as special is what it is.
Well, that's perfect. Going into the last question here, Dell Diamond, of course, a very special place, special for you and your family through Jana's diagnosis and the entire Team Jana movement. So I'm sure you have a lot of really heartfelt, special memories, but kind of some things that stand out for you as far as those memories go at Dell Diamond.
Of course, those are at top of mind, of course, with Jana, and just the way the community and, our fans and people, our staff supported us. When I think back at kind of the good times and both Chase played his first, I remember the first time he played his first high school game out here, and how excited I was as a dad to be working for the Round Rock Express. And my son had a chance to play a high school game out here. And I think he had a double into the left center gap. So kind of a great memory there. And then of course, he played his last game here in the Austin area coaches all-star baseball game here. And then of course for Luke to come up, and both of those kids were bat boys, and Luke played here this last summer on the Austin area coaches baseball all-star game, and Chase threw out the first pitch. Chase kind of oversees a lot of our amateur baseball events that we host out here, and they had asked him to throw out a first pitch, and he threw it to Luke, and somebody caught an unbelievable picture of them hugging each other on the mound. And when Jana was diagnosed, Chase had gotten a tattoo that says JA, keep the faith. And in the picture, you can actually see it. I actually got it blown up in my office. And that's a very special moment for me. That was last May. And then of course, Luke playing his playoff games. And then here recently, Luke having the opportunity to make his college debut playing for the University of Houston at Dell Diamond in the Round Rock Classic was probably top of the list. I mean, I think Luke was one of the first kids from the area that played not only, baseball camps and high school baseball games here, but we haven't hosted a college tournament in like over 15 years. And so a lot of those kids that would be getting into college, they haven't played until this year. And for Luke and me being my position here and him playing was pretty exciting. It was funny. His name, I remember when Steve put his picture on the board and the guys with L2 and all the great work they do. My phone was just, buzzing off the charts with people texting me with his picture of Dell Diamond. That was a pretty sweet moment.
That is awesome. Chris Almendarez, thank you so much for joining us. You're an all-star. We can't wait to get our game on and go play as soon as we're given the green light to do so. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me, man. Good luck and stay safe.
Well, thank you so much to Chris Almendarez, our guest here on Sidetracked, presented by HEB. We're going to throw it to a quick commercial break, but we're going to be right back with Houston Astros infielder Jack Mayfield and more right after this.
When you live in a city with the best of everything, you expect the best. Especially in those critical moments when you need it the most. It's why we've built an emergency care network that's ready around the clock, with more locations, less wait time, and the highest quality care. That's the care you expect and deserve. St. David's Emergency Care. The best is here.
Welcome back to Sidetracked, presented by Dell Technologies. My name is Andrew Feltz, and our sponsor shout-out this week goes to Kendra Scott. Well, a core pillar of Kendra Scott's business is their philanthropy and giving back to the local community. In mid-March, Kendra Scott pledged to donate 500,000 meals to Feeding America's COVID-19 Response Fund to assist local food banks. Since then, Kendra Scott and their customers have teamed up to donate over 1.5 million meals, and their good deeds don't stop there. Kendra Scott teamed up with women in Austin, Lubbock, and New Orleans to hand sew face masks for our frontline workers using materials from custom Kendra Scott bandanas. Right down the road in Austin at their corporate headquarters, they posted a larger-than-life message to our healthcare heroes. Then they backed that message up, donating masks, meals, and even some little yellow boxes to our frontline heroes. From all of us at the Round Rock Express, Kendra Scott, thank you so much for all that you're doing for our community during this difficult time. Well, we're going to move right along now and introduce our guest for our next segment. It's called Batting Cleanup, and it's presented by our friends at Whataburger. Joining us is Houston Astros infielder Jack Mayfield. Jack, of course, opened the 2019 season with the Express. He got called up and made his major league debut with the Astros in late May after parts of 7 seasons in the minor leagues. Well, Jack, thanks so much for joining us. I want to start off. You got Jackson there with you. How are you guys doing over in Del Rio?
Oh, we're good. Just trying to find ways to entertain him, entertain us, keep us busy. But the main thing is working out, staying in shape. We've got to stay ready. But all this family time is great. Definitely can't complain about that.
That is great. I want to start off by talking about 2019. Obviously, such an exciting season for you. Something that the fans don't get to see a whole lot of, and even myself in my role. But I just happened to be crossing through the clubhouse one night. Mickey had the whole team assembled, all the coaches, everybody, and it's definitely unusual after a game. I think we had lost that game, so it made it even more unusual. And he announced your contract had been selected. You're getting called up, and man, that place just went crazy. It was so cool to see all your teammates just go nuts. What was that night like for you?
That's definitely the first thing I say is the coolest thing was that everyone, was physically happy for me and celebrating with me. And that definitely made it more special. And, a cool little story was that everyone, all my teammates were like, hey, call your wife and FaceTime her. We want to see, her reaction. And so, that was really special to me is that everyone was, invested in me and my family. And it was a really cool moment for all of us. And I remember FaceTiming her. She was at a restaurant and she actually started screaming and running around the whole restaurant. I could hear her. So it was cool that everyone got to see it too.
I wish we had like video or something, because you would have thought, there was 30 guys in that room and you would have thought all 30 of them just got called up based on the reaction.
Yeah, I know. That's definitely what made it amazing. Like if it was just by myself, I feel like it wouldn't be the same. So, I give props to Mickey, for doing it in front of the team. That's really special by him. I remember him because he's been through it all, so he knows, what we've gone through and how special it is. He easily could have done it in his office, and he decided to do it in front of the whole team. So, I give a lot of props to him, and, it shows what kind of guy he is.
Well, you made your major league debut just a couple days later at Minute Maid Park against the Chicago Cubs, doubled in your first at-bat. What do you remember from that game, and then how special was that for you and your family up in the stands to get to see you make your debut?
Yeah, so it was a tough situation because I got there really, really late compared to, game time when they were getting out there. I didn't get much sleep. Of course, I don't think anyone does the night before. But I was probably running on 4-5 hours of sleep, and some of those hours are from the plane, But once I got there, I saw I was in the lineup. All that went away, all that went away, and all the pressure kind of went away. I was just so excited that I couldn't wait to get out there, and all the stress kind of went away. And all the experiences and everything was just bottled into one.
Well, Jack, it was so much fun, all of us at the ballpark, to watch you make your debut. Obviously, that first at-bat, to see your wife, Jackie, in the stands just going crazy. It was definitely a lot of fun. We are visiting with Jack Mayfield, Houston Astros infielder, here on Sidetracked, presented by Whataburger. Jack, of course, you had a 4-year career at the University of Oklahoma, recently honored by the school. Tell us about what that honor was like and kind of what that experience was like for you.
It was unbelievable. I mean, that's the first word I can think of. I remember the director of operations. His name is Ryan Gaines, and he's honestly the last guy that's there now from when I was there. My last year was 2013, and he texted me one day. He said, "I know it's kind of early, but we plan on having you as our Diamond Dinner honoree." This was right when the season ended, and I go, "You're kidding?" And he goes, "No, 100% serious." And, the first thing that came to mind was I remember whenever I was a freshman, sophomore, whenever I was there, and going to that Diamond Dinner and seeing the guy up there, and like, wow, this is, pretty amazing. All of us are here to honor this guy. And, to get the invite to do it myself was a special feeling. And, one of the coolest things is I got to go in the locker room and talk to all those guys, one-on-one pretty much. And, I could really tell those guys are really focused and determined. They were staring at me. No one ever looked away. So, they definitely have a good club going there. And it was a special moment for me and my family, of course, because my whole family, my parents got to go. That was really cool seeing them in the seats.
Well, fast forward, not long after that, you're in spring training in big league camp with the Astros down in West Palm Beach. A couple weeks in, here comes the announcement things are going to be suspended. What was that day like for you as a player when you learned that spring training was suspended and there was no real answer for how the season was going to proceed?
Well, I mean, at first I didn't really know what to think. It didn't seem real. We kind of kept hearing, little thing by thing, and I was like, no way this happens. I'm not going to go home. Like, we just I remember being with Garrett Stubbs every day. We'd ride together, and we're like, there's no way we're going home. This is crazy, blah, blah, blah. We're going to stay here. And then fast forward, and, we're here home for almost 3 weeks now, a month. And, it's gone by so fast. And for us, all of us that work in the baseball industry, I mean, we're used to having that everyday routine. And, it was kind of cut short, kind of back into off-season mode, but we got to stay ready. That's what's tough. So it's definitely new to everybody. I can't say just us. It's new to everybody, but we gotta live with what we're given, and we gotta make the most of it. So I'm getting extra family time, and I get to work out a little extra outside, and so I can't complain. But it definitely makes me and everybody miss baseball more.
Yeah, that is.
This could be a blessing in disguise. Kind of got us away from it, and now we're eager to get back. So I think it's definitely going to help me, and a lot of players kind of want that will to get back.
We were joking with Mickey last week. The rain delays don't sound so bad. The double headers don't sound so bad. Those 11 a.m. games, all of it. I mean, we'll take all of it back at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't realize how good we have it whenever we're playing every single day, and we're here at home, and now I can't wait to get back. So, I'm definitely anxious for that.
I'm curious how you're staying in shape. Is it all at home? Do you have access to a gym or a high school facility or something? We've seen guys all over the country doing all sorts of stuff. I'm curious how you're getting through.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone has, something different. Here, I'm very fortunate because I get to go on the high school baseball field right now. We have some set of keys to bring our truck in the back, and, we take BP. We probably go about every other day, and I go out there with my brother-in-law. He's actually an assistant baseball coach here at the high school now. So he loves it. He gets to throw to me every day or every other day, hit me ground balls. So it's special to him too, to keep me ready. But so the other days I'll go out back and work out. I have, it's kind of a different workout than we're used to, but I have tire to flip. I do some pull-ups on the rails up top. I got a lot of med balls. We recently got a new puppy, so I try to run around and keep him busy to wear him out. And, we have a little swing set that my son plays on, Jackson. And, the cool thing is we all go out there almost like a family thing, and I'll be working out. Jackson will be playing. My wife will, be keeping Jackson busy as well. So it's definitely different, but I can't complain. Like I said, it's a unique thing that we're going through, and we got to make the most of it.
We know how important family is to you. For our fans that are active on Twitter, if you don't follow Jack and his wife Jackie, I mean, they're so fun to follow. You can see everything that Jackson's doing, including right now. We saw him.
I can't wait for baseball.
See
y'all soon.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, man. We can't wait to see him. But that was what I was going to ask about. Is we saw him hitting off the tee. We saw him with a golf club. I mean, he's staying just as busy as anybody, right?
Oh yeah. He's loving it. He loves being outside. So any sport or anything we can do to keep him busy and keep that smile on his face. So I think he loves having Dada around. Even though they would be with me during the season, but he gets to wake up with me and go to sleep with me every night, and the whole thing is keeping him busy. It's all about family, so he's enjoying it the most. So that's why I can't complain.
That is awesome. One of the formats of our show, we've been asking for questions from our fans, from other folks in the community. We have one for you real quick from Instagram.
Absolutely.
So here you go. It's a two-parter. The first part of the question, if the roles were reversed, which pitcher do you think could take you deep? And the second part of that question is, why is the answer Kent Emanuel?
Man, this guy needs to get off social media. He's all over. Oh man, I don't think he would take me deep because he couldn't. I don't know if y'all remember, he got an AB during the season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a great story is he's up there. He thought he was so cool getting an at bat, and all the other pitchers were jealous. But the great thing is that he put the ball in play, right? A lot of other guys would have struck out. The bad thing is that he swung and didn't know that the ball was in play. So he swung, was looking around, looked at our dugout, thought it was a foul ball, and we're all like, run! And then he looks to the left field, like, oh man, I gotta run, and it was an easy fly ball. So he's coming in hot, trying to say that he would take me deep, but he didn't even know that he put the ball in play. So that was pretty funny.
Okay, I want to ask another thing about that. For our maybe folks that don't know, it was the last game of the regular season. It was a day game at Omaha. I was at home watching the game, following, doing our social media, and all of a sudden it was like the 7th or 8th inning. Here comes Kent Emanuel as a pinch hitter, and we were like, "What is going on here?" So, what was the backstory? That did he want to hit? I mean, what kind of led to him getting that at bat?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember detail for detail, but I think we ran out of position players. I think a couple guys had gotten injured, and all these pitchers prep all year. They're all talking oh, we're gonna get an AB. We need to take batting practice. So they wait for this time all year, and he finally got it. And I give him props for not striking out, but it was hilarious that he didn't even know he put the ball in play.
That is too funny. That was one of those things that right before the playoffs started, so it kind of got lost. But we had a good time last night when we saw.
Oh yeah,
to ask
that was a
question.
great time.
Well, Jack, the last
get off social media too. He's asking too many questions every time.
Hey, we're gonna pass the message. We might have to get him on here pretty soon.
Yeah, you do.
To defend himself.
Get him on. I gotta ask him a question.
Hey, there you go.
He's the next guy you gotta call.
Hey, well, we're gonna make it happen. We'll pull some strings.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen. The last thing I had for you, we've been asking all our guests just favorite memories of Dell Diamond. Of course, you've played at that facility, both on the visiting side with Fresno the last couple of years and then as a member of the Express last year. But any certain games stick out or other experiences at the ballpark?
Well, one crazy experience that a lot of fans don't know, it's kind of a funny thing, was whenever we had that crazy, we talk about it all the time. We joke about it anytime there's any rain. It's a cool story. Anytime there's a little bit of rain, we're like, oh, we're playing. There's no way we're getting rained out, because there was one time we had a crazy storm, and I swear the grounds crew was floating in a kayak in the outfield, floating to his barn back there, and these guys were unbelievable, unbelievable crew. They got the field ready within a couple hours, and that's just a story I'll never forget. Was these guys were out there kayaking, and then within a couple hours, we got to play the game. But that's just one crazy story. My best memory at... Oh, you got a lollipop? He wants to show his lollipop.
Nice.
My coolest moment has got to be my 3-homer game. That's something that will never happen again. And I know, right? Can't say it won't happen again, but that's definitely something that I'll never forget. I mean, a lot of people think about having 2 homer games, and then, I was fortunate enough to get that last at bat. Sometimes it's hard to even get the last at bat, and I mean, all I was trying to do, to be honest, was hit a home run. So the pitcher got behind 1-0, and I said, "Here comes a fastball. I hope he, leaves it close," because I was swinging no matter what, trying to hit the ball over the left field, and I got a good pitch to hit and hit it over. But that is my personal memory. As a team memory, would have to be at Dell Diamond when I got called up, like you said earlier. I mean, if anyone ever asks where and when I got called up, I get to say Dell Diamond, with the squad that was the best in the league, had the most wins ever. So it's all a cool story, and it all happened at Dell Diamond with Round Rock Express. And, that team is going to be hard to beat this coming year. So that's definitely goals that we have set, is trying to beat that win record from last year and make it to the playoffs again.
Oh, absolutely. We're looking forward to it. Hey, we were lucky that Kent didn't come and take that third at bat from you during your 3-homer game.
Right.
Jack Mayfield, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to us. Man, we can't wait to get back and to see you out on the baseball field here pretty soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Everyone take care, stay safe, and enjoy time with your family, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Good stuff from Jack Mayfield, infielder for the Round Rock Express and the Houston Astros. We certainly appreciate him and Whataburger for bringing us that segment. Just a reminder, Whataburger's all over Central Texas. Their drive-thrus remain open 24/7. They also have a curbside pickup from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. when you order through the Whataburger app. It's never been easier to get your Texas favorites over at Whataburger. We're going to be right back with more Sidetracked, including a visit with Olympian Cat Osterman right after this.
It goes without saying, there's nothing we won't do for our kids. That means giving them our best, especially when they need it most. With an emergency care network that treats every emergency, big or small, with the highest level of care possible. You want the best for your kids, and so do we. St. David's Emergency Care. The best is here.
Well, welcome back to Sidetracked, presented by Dell Technologies. Well, it's fitting that our final segment this afternoon is called The Closer, because we're about to welcome in one of the most dominant pitchers to ever step foot on a softball field. Thanks to our great friends over at Pepsi, we are excited to welcome in three-time Olympian, Olympic gold medalist, and All-American from the University of Texas, member of the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, current assistant softball coach at Texas State University, and a member of Team USA Softball. It's Cat Osterman. Cat, I hope I didn't leave anything out. I'm sure I did. How are you doing this afternoon?
Groundhog's Day, but trying to make the most of it.
Definitely. Certainly lots that we can talk about with you and your careers, but I, of course, want to start with the Olympics. Of course, Team USA invited you to try out, invited you to join the team. You accepted. Kind of take us through what that process was like and your decision to ultimately return to the field.
Yeah, so I think the first question everyone asks is, like, in 2016 when they put softball back in, like, what were your thoughts? I think everyone thought I just, like, jumped straight back in. And in fact, for about 2 years almost, I had no thoughts about it. I was glad I was back in, don't get me wrong, but I had no thoughts about playing. And then towards the end of 2017, a friend of mine, Kelly Kretschmann, who was on both Olympic teams with me, was in town, and she was like, you want to play again. And I was like, no, I don't know that I do. She's like, yeah, you do. Like, I know you do. Because I had been in the coaching pool. They had asked me to be in the coaching pool for the team. And I put my name in, but then I pulled my name out because I was like, I don't want to coach that team. And she's like, that's why you don't want to coach it, because you can still do it. And so, of course, the wheels started spinning, and talked to my parents, talked to my husband, my inner circle of people. And finally, ultimately, I felt like I needed to return because this generation has a shot at a goal that they thought was lost. And I have the capability of helping them win that goal.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Sorry, I just want to look forward, of course. Like so many other sporting events that were scheduled for this summer, the 2020 games have been postponed until 2021. I imagine as you're kind of ramping up, getting ready, probably somewhat similar to maybe pitchers in a spring training, or your inning counts are going up, your pitch counts are going up. Can you kind of take us through your training and kind of what 2020 looked like up until the announcement of the postponement?
yeah, at the end of January, we started touring. We had played in Florida, we played in Arizona, we played in California. The second leg of that took us back to California and was actually about to take us up into the Northwest. And we were each slowly starting to get more and more innings. And from there, March 11th, it just got completely halted. And so for me personally, I know right now the goal is how can I get as much game situation as possible as soon as we start back up, or as soon as, we're allowed to start leaving our house and other stuff. So, it's right now, it's just a lot of individual time. We're not sure what 21 looks like yet. Obviously, it's hard to make a schedule when you don't know when we're going to be allowed to travel and leave our houses. But I'm throwing every other day right now and keeping the pitch count low for right now. And then closer we know to being able to actually start practicing again, I'll ramp it up. But I try to stay physically active every day just to do something. I need to do something for my sanity. But the older I am, if I take more than 1 or 2 days off, it's harder to get started again.
And that's exactly what I was going to ask about. Of course, with this being a 4-year event, and you're working really for 4 years for that one summer, and now all of a sudden you're a couple months out, and an entire year has been added to that calendar. And of course, not knowing what that calendar looks like, just all the unknowns got to be so tough for your preparation and your physical work getting ready for the Olympic Games. Yeah,
I think that was my first question. There was no hesitation on if I would do it or not, but it was just like, okay, now we're not, 3 or 4 months out. We're now 16 months out. And I don't know how to put it really into words other than I just decided for right now, while we're in quarantine, so to speak, just keep doing something every day. I have a Peloton. I ride that every day. But then as soon as we know what even a skeleton of a schedule will look like, I'll try to start putting, even weightlifting, you do peaks and valleys kind of thing, and start putting that into place. But for right now, it's hard because you don't want to train so hard right now, and then you don't have to for 6 months.
Yeah, it's tough. Visiting with Kat Osterman, of course, a 3-time Olympian here on Sidetracked, presented by our friends at Pepsi. Well, Kat, another one of the kind of careers that you have right now, you're an assistant softball coach over at Texas State University. I know you kind of scaled back a little bit on your roles with the team in preparation for the Olympics, but I kind of want to ask, from your perspective, just how the Texas State softball team kind of came together and got through the news that college sports were going to be finished for the remainder of 2020.
Yeah, I wasn't on campus the day it happened. I was actually flying back from tour. I had obviously read on Twitter and stuff that things looked like they were leaning that way. And I actually texted one of our assistants and she didn't answer me. So I was like, oh, well, maybe they're practicing. And then about 30 minutes later, she's like, well, we just got called off the field and told we were halted. And I think it was hard it's hard anytime your team feels like they have momentum. And I know our team this year felt like they had really good team chemistry. They had a few ups and downs, but they felt like they were getting through it together. So they really felt like they had a strong future ahead. And so for that to be halted, I know they were all devastated. The seniors were devastated with the unknown of what would happen to their final year. Obviously, we know now that NCAA is going to allow them to come back, but it's hard, especially when you know that you have something special or you feel that something special within the team. So we do Zoom calls. We do a team Zoom call every Sunday. So the first Sunday, our coach kind of let all of them just voice their frustrations. And I think the biggest thing is they miss playing, but they miss each other. So that's a sign of a good team. So hopefully come fall when they can get back on campus, they pick up close to right where they left off and they can keep building on that.
Hmm. And I want to ask, maybe for folks that don't know you as well, off the field, there's so much stuff you're involved with. It's really cool to see you all over the place. But one of those organizations that's, of course, close to the Express as well is RBI Austin. Can you kind of talk about your involvement with that organization and how you've stayed connected with them over the last couple months while we've been dealing with this?
Yeah. Well, 5 or 6 years ago, Matt Price, put in front of me. He wanted to add softball, and in order to do that, he wanted me to be part of it. And so I've been part of it ever since, adding softball, trying to help develop the softball side. I love what it does. I love being able to see, girls who may not have been playing, been interested in playing, but now have the opportunity because of RBI getting to play. And I'd love to see the softball side grow the way the baseball side has, where hopefully girls can actually, go to college from this program. But I just love the mission, and I love the fact, obviously, we mentor through Christ, and that's a big piece we keep there. But, it's allowed me to connect with my softball family, and I was close with Round Rock before that, but obviously it's another avenue that I get to share with Chris Almendarez and the Jacksons.
That's definitely an awesome organization. I know one of our highlights every year is their banquet downtown, and getting to hear you speak and hear some of the stories, and that's always fun for us. And of course, mention the Express. Our season is on hold for the time being, but once we get back and once we ramp up, we're going to have an Olympics night. We're going to honor you. We're going to honor Team USA. One thing I want to ask you about, you were the first ever female to be added to our Texas Legends bobblehead series. We've had Andy Roddick, Matthew McConaughey, George Strait, Earl Campbell. What was it like when you found out that we were going to honor you with the bobblehead, and kind of take us through kind of what that was like?
Well, I got the email and I kind of laughed. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I looked at it and like, oh, wait, that's really cool. I think it's kind of been like, it's been a running joke because, some of the softball pro teams have done bobblehead nights for their teams, and our team never did it. And so they've been like, do you have a bobblehead? And I'm like, no. And so now I'm like, now I do. Now I get one. But it's really cool. I know the Express has always kept softball in mind too. I mean, when they have camps, they have baseball and softball camps. And so I think it's awesome that they highlight female athletes. And obviously I'm really glad that softball is the first female athlete, and I'm proud to be the recipient of that. But it's been a fun process to try to make your bobblehead look like you.
Well, that's awesome. I was going to ask if this was the first bobblehead, so that's perfect. Now we know.
Uh-huh.
Well, cool. Last thing I have for you, of course, you're a great friend of the Express. We've seen you out at Del Diamond multiple times. One thing we've kind of been asking all our guests over the last couple of weeks, any kind of memories or games that stick out as being especially memorable from your time with the Express or out at Del Diamond?
I think two, actually. The very first time I ever got to throw out the first pitch there after I got home from the '04 Olympics was really cool. I don't know why I didn't put all the pieces together in my head, but Reed and Reese were on the field with me, and they're like, oh yeah, after this, we'll get to go up and meet Dad. And I was like, it took me probably about 3 minutes before I looked at our University of Texas communications director and said, wait, Dad's Nolan Ryan. And she was like, yeah. And of course I got to see him, and I was like shaking and like a 5-year-old who couldn't speak. So it was embarrassing and great all at the same time. And then I think the second time was when the Pride came to Del Diamond. It wasn't an Express game, but we came to Del Diamond to play against Chicago. And Chris Almendarez did a great job of putting that event together. And I didn't get to throw at it because I was injured. The turnout was awesome. And just for the first time, our two teams were treated like pro teams with, Kenny being the clubby and running back and forth and doing things for people. And we got to experience, like what the pro guys get to experience.
That is awesome. Kat, we can't wait to see you back out at the ballpark, hopefully pretty soon. Can't wait to see you in 2021 in Tokyo. We're in the red, white, and blue. Thanks so much for spending the time with us, for chatting through this thing, and we'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. That was Kat Osterman, 3-time Olympian gold medal winner. She is our guest here on Sidetracked, presented by Pepsi. Well, we want to take a few minutes now to highlight ways you can still interact with the Round Rock Express, even though there's no baseball going on at Del Diamond. Of course, we mentioned it last week, but we've teamed up with RS3 Strategic Hospitality to provide family meal kits through the Bullpen Bar by Dripping Springs Vodka out at Del Diamond. Keep an eye on Express social media channels in the next day or two to see the menu for this week. We'll begin taking orders. All orders must be submitted by Monday at 4 p.m., and then pickup will take place at the Bullpen Bar over on the right field side of Del Diamond from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. next Friday. Each meal kit includes 5 unique meals with approximately 4 servings each, as well as several grocery items like paper towels, toilet paper, milk, bread, and more. For more information and to order this week's meal kit, please visit rrexpress.com. Once more, too, we'd like to send a shout-out to our friends over at Viatran for presenting our item of the week, the Nolan Ryan Foundation Navy Sunrise Tee. Those are on sale for $25. Again, more information and for how to purchase over at rrexpress.com. Well, some tough news last week with the announcement that schools throughout Texas will be closed through the remainder of this academic school year. So we want to help. We've started Spike's Reading Challenge. It's a program for kids 12 and under to get involved. All parents need to do is log hours read by your kiddos from now until May 15th. Send that over to us at rrexpress.com. We'll flip you 2 tickets to a future Express game and enter you in to win several great prizes we've got up for grabs. Here's a little sneak peek into Spike's Reading Challenge, courtesy of Express General Manager Tim Jackson.
Spike, this is one of my favorite books. Have you ever read this? Oh, The Places You'll Go. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what you know, and you are the guy who will decide where to go.
Well, finally, our backyard baseball series with Mike Capps continues. We're still accepting submissions. You can go on to rrexpress.com, drop us a video of you and your kids playing baseball in the backyard, maybe in the park, wherever it's safe to do so. We're going to send those over to Mike Capps, and the voice of the Express is going to call the action as he sees it. We'll layer those 2 things together and send it right back to you through our YouTube channel. We've had so much fun watching all the submissions come through, especially this one from Mac and Lila.
Right-handed hitting Mac hits a bomb deep to left center field. No one will get to this one. A long home run for Mac. Mac take a bow as the celebration begins. 2 outs now, bottom of the 3rd, ground ball hit to Lila. She's up with it, over to first. Great throw by Lila. Lila take a bow as the inning ends.
Well, it is certainly so great to hear Mike's voice. With that, episode 2 of Sidetracked is officially in the books. We'd like to extend a big thank you to you for joining us this afternoon, and of course a thank you to Round Rock Express President Chris Almendarez, Houston Astros infielder Jack Mayfield, and Olympian Kat Osterman for taking time out of their day to chat with us, and of course a big thank you to the folks over at L2 Productions and Dell Technologies for making all of this possible. Well, we'll be right back here next Tuesday, 2 p.m. on Facebook Live. As we mentioned in the beginning, we want this show to be for you. So please ask us questions if there's anybody you want to see on the show, anything that you think might be a fun topic for us to discuss. We want this show to be for you guys. So please drop us a comment, send us a DM. Our inbox is open. Well, on behalf of everyone at the Round Rock Express, my name is Andrew Feltz. Hope that you guys stay safe, stay healthy, take care of each other, and we'll be back to baseball here pretty soon.